Hi everyone, this is Naima Mumtaz from Department of Education, Hadara University. This is our week 4 and today we are going to talk about feedback that moves learning forward. Feedback is information given to the learner or teacher about the learner's performance relative to learning goals or outcomes. It should aim towards improvement in students' learning. Feedback redirects or refocuses either the teacher's or the learner's actions to achieve a goal by aligning efforts and activity with an outcome. It can be about learning activities such as process of activity, students learning, time management and self-regulation. Feedback studies tend to show very high positive and negative effects on learning as well. Types of feedback. Feedback has number of purposes and types. Feedback can be provided as a single entity. For example, informal feedback when students learn concept in a formal or informal way or in a combination of multiple types. For example, informal feedback, formal feedback, positive feedback, verbal feedback, non-verbal feedback, negative oral or written feedback, and student self feedback and students peer feedback. Motivational feedback. It is used to reward and support positive learning behavior. Its primary goal is to make students motivated towards learning. For example, if one of my students perform good in term test and to motivate him or her, I appreciate his hard work. This is motivational feedback. Its purpose is to encourage and support the student. Evaluative feedback. It is intended to summarize students' achievement. It summarizes students' work, for example, how well he or she has performed on a particular task. This type of feedback is often in the form of letter, grades, numbers, marks, symbols, and or general comments such as good, excellent, or need help. Its purpose is to measure learners' achievement with a set criteria, for example, scores or grade. Descriptive feedback is specific information in the form of written comments. It informs students that how to improve performance tasks. Its aim is to improve learners' achievement by informing students that how to move forward in the learning process. It also tells the learner that what to do to expand his her reasoning ability to next level. Its purpose is to improve learning by pointing students what need to be improved. Informal feedback and its purpose. It occurs spontaneously and encourage or guide students in daily management and decision making during learning. This might occur in the classroom, over the phone, in an online forum, or virtual classroom. Effective feedback. Effective feedback suggests strategies and independence towards future work. It describes strengths and weaknesses of students' work by criteria based phrases. Effective feedback gives opportunity to redo work. It is specific to journal. It suggests it gives suggestions to improve. Its purpose is to improve learning by moving students' reasoning to the next level and tell students what need to be improved. Formal feedback. Formal feedback is planned and systematically scheduled into the process. It is generally associated with assessment tasks, marking criteria, competencies, and achievement of standards. It is recorded both for schools and learners, as evidence. Verbal feedback. Verbal feedback usually takes place during class activities or after the marks for formal assessment have been allocated. Verbal communication involves exchanging of ideas through face to face or telephone or maybe Skype in educational institutions. Verbal feedback and communication is not generally considered to be formal unless it is recorded for later review. Non-verbal feedback. Non-verbal feedback include body language. Body language is very important and is mostly in play during verbal communication. Students peer feedback. Through basic instruction and ongoing support, students can learn to give quality feedback, which is highly valued by peers. Providing students with regular opportunities to give and receive feedback enriches their learning experiences and develops their professional skill set. Effective feedback. Effective feedback suggests strategies and independence towards future work. It describes strengths and weaknesses of students' work by criteria based phrases. Effective feedback gives opportunity to redo work. It is specific to journal. It suggests it gives suggestions to improve. Its purpose is to improve learning by moving students' reasoning to the next level and tell students what need to be improved. Student self feedback. In this type of feedback, students identify their own learning gaps and focus on learning. They set their realistic goals, they do revisions, and track their own progress. Negative feedback. It focuses on behavior that wasn't successful and shouldn't be repeated. Positive feedback. It focuses on behavior that was successful and should be continued.